Okay everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we have another video from Swagkage that we are going to be reacting to called his top 5 least favorite Naruto characters. And I'm really curious to hear what his 5 least favorite Naruto characters, especially since, you know, everyone has their own characters that they don't like no matter what series you follow. So I'm really curious to hear what his series are. Now let's go ahead and full screen this, and not to waste any time whatsoever. So let's go ahead and watch this video.
So Naruto has a really strong cast of characters. A lot of people may disagree with me, but I find myself very hard-pressed to hate pretty much anybody in this series. However, there are a handful of exceptions to this rule, and we're going to be talking about some of them today. There are no rules for this list, really. This is pretty much just a video talking about the characters I really don't like from Naruto. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Tenten, okay.
So my reasons for disliking Tenten are actually pretty petty, especially when compared to those that I have for pretty much everybody else on this list. Since I don't hate her for any real reason in particular, I just find her really annoying, like just overall, as a person. I really started committing to hating Tenten after the fight between Naruto and Neji in the tuning exams, because every scene with Tenten on panel just involved her rooting against Naruto and sucking Neji off with the force of a million vacuum cleaners. You can't attack Neji from behind. He has 360-degree vision with his Byakugan. You can't fight Neji up close. He's a taijutsu specialist with the gentle fist. You can't outsmart Neji with a strategy. He's a genius prodigy. He's the smartest of all. You can't trick Neji with shadow clones. You can see the real one with the Byakugan, dummy. You can't beat Neji. Neji's the best. I love you, Neji. And coming off the heels of her getting absolutely murdered by Tamari, I was just like, Tenten, what authority do you have on the matter of any of this? You don't have any right to be talking about fights when the only fight you have participated in was a one-sided massacre in your opponent's favor. Shut up. Bad. And see, like, it's not like she gets any better after this. I mean, in Shippuden, she doesn't really do anything. Everybody just keeps claiming she's a weapons specialist, even though all she does is just, like, hold up her scroll and then shoot out, like, a billion different kinds of weapons at once. That doesn't... like... Anybody could do that.
Yeah.
Like, all she does is complain and lose and complain and lose and then, like, in the final arc, she is given the ultimate opportunity to be useful, and I mean the best opportunity she as a weapons specialist could possibly receive, and that is the opportunity to use the weapons of the Sage of Six Paths himself to seal Madara or Kaguya away, and she does
nothing.
Anything with it. She accomplishes nothing. The only fight she has ever won is one against a copy of herself, and she nearly lost that one too. Like I said, Tenten's not terrible. She's just, like, really annoying. I don't like her.
Alright, what's number 4?
My name is Boruto Uzumaki. I'm the son of the 7th Hokage Naruto Uzumaki and the next heir to the head branch of the Hyuga clan, Hinata Hyuga. I have a completely unique dojutsu, 3 nature transformations, and I'm the student of Sasuke Uchiha. Oh yeah. Also, did I mention I can use the Rasengan, and I'm gonna possibly learn how to use the Chidori too? And I can also throw my Rasengan as well, and it like disappears in the air, man.
And let me remind you, he learned how to throw the Rasengan, and let me remind you, Naruto had to bust his ass to get good, at the very least good enough to be able to throw a Rasengan, or not even a Rasengan, to learn just to throw a jutsu as powerful as the Rasen Shuriken, which was so powerful Tsunade deemed it a forbidden jutsu. Think about that. And dude, what was so annoying about this is when he threw it, he wasn't even thinking about it. He just did it. Like, he just threw a temper tantrum, go, oh yeah, like, yeah, I can't, and he threw it. Like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. I mean, is there any wonder why there are so many people who don't like Boruto as a character? Like, just, Jesus Christ, oh god, I can't stand this character. I know some people will say, well, the manga recently has been made better. No, he isn't. He isn't better. Okay, he's still a whiny little bitch. Okay, he still is. And like he said, despite all of his... He has all of these advantages. And even in the manga, even in the most recent arc, like the guy on his own can't do anything. He still constantly needs other people, other less talented people than him, to save his ass. Think about that.
Really cool. Oh yeah, and thanks to my ties to the Hyuga clan, I can use the gentle fist, and I don't even have a Byakugan. Best part though is it was me, Boruto Uzumaki, who threw the Rasengan that defeated Momoshiki Otsutsuki and saved the world. Does anybody else see any problems with this? Boruto sounds like a fucking fan character. Like,
He does.
I almost
He still
don't
is.
feel like I should put him on this list because, I mean, what place do OCs have in a top 5 worst Naruto characters list, right? We're talking about canon characters here. But Boruto is real. He's
He's
actually
unfortunately a real
character
character.
from the Naruto manga. It blows my mind. The reason Naruto was compelling was because he was an underdog. He didn't have anything going for him. And now you just wanna make Boruto this overpowered god from the get-go. And speaking of, despite his ridiculous genetic advantages, Boruto isn't like, he can't do anything. Dude has to cheat just to beat Shikadai in the tuning exams. Like, what? And like, he hates his dad too. Like, he's just a huge brat. Like, oh man, like, Naruto's dumb, never at home, always running the village, trying to keep the whole world safe and running. Like, get out of here, man. Boruto's stupid.
He is. Kabuto, okay.
I don't like that I have to include Kabuto on this list, but I have to include Kabuto on this list. The reason I don't want to have to put him here is because he had so much potential to be awesome, dude. When he was introduced, he was one of the coolest characters in the series. He was like this cool mentor figure for Naruto and everybody else in the tuning exams, and then, surprise, he's actually a spy for Orochimaru. That's really cool. Got a really awesome setup for a character there. But then he just evolves into this, like, loser, this total jackass who, like, for whatever reason, gets off on making fun of Naruto, a 12-year-old genin, and attempting to torture this kid and murder him just because he thinks it's funny. Like, what, bro? You're an adult. You are a grown man. Like, wailing on this little kid. Is that fun to you? And even after all the trash he talks to Naruto, he still takes the baddest of L's from him. Naruto slams Kabuto with that Rasengan and boom, Kabuto's done. He's kind of cool at the beginning of Shippuden, I guess, when he's not being like that, you know, super condescending and annoying. But it all goes downhill as soon as he gets some of Orochimaru's DNA. Like, the series really expects me to take this smug, nerdy, wimpy little kid, Orochimaru's errand boy, as seriously as Madara or Toby? As seriously as Pain or any of the Akatsuki for that matter? Just because he learned Sage Mode in the reanimation jutsu. Actually, why did he even get Sage Mode?
Dude, dude, here's the thing. I'm sorry, I got a rant about this, but the second, the second Kishimoto unveiled Sage Mode, or at the very least, no, not Sage Mode, but like this Snake Sage Mode. The second I found out about this, I was so fucking pissed. Like, you unveil something as cool as Snake Sage Mode, and out of all the characters you could have given it to, you gave it to Kabuto? Like, what the and dude, this I remember I was so pissed about this because I was thinking, like, wait a minute, why the hell didn't Sasuke learn this? Like, why didn't Orochimaru bother telling Sasuke about Snake Sage Mode? I mean, did he, like, and I know a lot of people are probably going to use the excuse, well, he probably didn't want Sasuke to be too powerful because otherwise how will he take over his body? But it was revealed that Orochimaru learned, like, Snake Senjutsu too. I mean, yeah, he couldn't master it, but if he wanted a candidate that was as powerful as he possibly could be, then why wouldn't he have Sasuke learn Snake Sage Mode? And who knows, like, again, considering how hyped up Sasuke's natural talent was, like, he probably could have mastered it. And then, like, imagine if Orochimaru thought, like, oh man, if I take over this body, I won't just have the Sharingan, I'll even have a body capable of withstanding the full absolute power of Snake Senjutsu. And it's just, dude, like, I was so fucking pissed when this was unveiled, and to know that Sasuke never got a chance to learn it, I just fuck off with that. Just fuck Kishimoto for that. I'm still fucking pissed about this. Or not even just Kabuto, give it to Orochimaru. Orochimaru was way more awesome as a villain. And even then, like, why didn't he, like, when you think about it, like, when it was revealed that Orochimaru apparently had, like, at the very least some level of understanding of senjutsu based attacks. Why didn't he use that when he fought against the third Hokage? Especially when it was later revealed like how much more powerful senjutsu makes you, not just your ninjutsu but also your taijutsu, your external senses. It's just there are so many things. There were so many problems this introduced, and like I'm still pissed about this. I can't fucking stand this.
Why did Kabuto get Sage Mode but not Orochimaru instead? I would have been much more okay with Orochimaru being in charge of the reanimation jutsu and fighting Itachi and Sasuke with Sage Mode activated, but no, it's Kabuto. He's claiming to be closer than anybody to being the ultimate life form. He's claiming to be nearing the level of the Sage of Six Paths, and he still has to wear glasses? Like, all these modifications to his body, and he can't even fix his eyesight? Really? I'm not throwing shade at anybody who wears glasses, but like, this is a universe where people can perform eye transplants no problem.
Like,
and Kabuto really could. Like, I'm the second Sage of Six Paths, and he still wears his little rimmed glasses. I think what puts me off the most about Kabuto is just how smug he is, despite the fact that he's just a great value version of Orochimaru. If even. He's just so full of himself. He thinks he's like the most powerful person to ever walk the earth. He reanimated a more powerful Madara and is still thinking to himself, oh yeah, I'm the strongest shinobi alive. The Uchiha are nothing to me. What, dude? The funniest thing ever is the fact that he reanimates Itachi and Madara. Itachi places him under Izanami. Like, Itachi breaks free of Kabuto's reanimation jutsu, wrecks Kabuto, and Madara breaks free of the reanimation jutsu as well, and then places Kabuto under the infinite Tsukuyomi. That is all 100,000% his fault. And after he said, oh yeah, the reanimation jutsu has no risk. Kabuto is so stupid. Hate this man.
Yes.
Zetsu is everything I hate about Kabuto and Tenten combined into one character. He is this smug, smarmy, arrogant piece of garbage, and all he does is talk down to everybody else and talk about why Kaguya is so great. And man, he doesn't need to exist. Well, rather, he could exist just as the side background character that he always was, but instead, no, he had to be the main villain, the ultimate plot twist, just because Kishimoto couldn't figure out a way to kill Madara. Zetsu had to come in, stab him through the back, and turn him into Kaguya. The fact that he's there, that he had to kill Madara is one thing, because as many of you know, I really like Madara. It was a real shame to see him go like that. He got done really dirty. Not only that though, Zetsu cheapens the whole manga by saying that it was him who organized all of shinobi history. Every single event that takes place in the Naruto manga was by Zetsu's design just so he could bring Kaguya back. Something he failed to do, by the way. He sets up the feud between the Senju and the Uchiha, all of the shinobi world wars, the Akatsuki, everything, man. He even went to Kabuto and was like, hey man, you ought to bring Madara Uchiha back. I promise you, you'll win the war with him. So like, they might as well rename this story from Naruto to Zetsu. He made everything happen, and it's just, like I said, it just cheapens the whole manga because it makes the story feel a lot more artificial than it used to. And also, again, it doesn't help that he is just the most annoying, unlikable organism ever. Well, next to number one, that is.
Oh, Danzo,
Do I even really need to explain myself here? It's Danzo. Everybody hates Danzo.
Yeah.
You're supposed to hate Danzo. He's written that way. But I mean, like, he's... I can't even talk about Danzo without getting triggered, dude. I hate this guy so much.
I don't think there's anyone who actually likes this character.
You're telling me that Shisui has a plan to stop the entire Uchiha coup d'etat by using Kodo Matsukami on Fugaku to make him just call the whole thing off, yeah? Well, no.
Like, what? Really? Oh yeah, I'm just doing everything for the good of the village. I only killed one of its most valuable assets in cold blood, made another one of its most valuable assets, a member of the Akatsuki, wiped out one of its most powerful clans, and allied myself with its greatest enemy just because I wanted some Sharingan and wood release power. He was really like, no, don't stop the coup like that, Shisui. I have an idea. And then he was like, yeah, the idea is to kill you and let Itachi kill everybody else too. Like, what is Danzo Danzo is so stupid.
And,
Like,
dude,
Pain
I
came
remember-
to the village seeking Naruto.
Like,
He
I thought this was so goddamn stupid because it was like the Uchiha clan massacre was such a big part of the story, of the overall story, because it ends up like that's the thing, that the event in one of the main characters' life that pretty much convinces them to do or drives them to do everything. And yet you're telling me that all of that could have easily been avoided because this old fuck really wanted just the power of the Sharingan, and not, and later on, like, Kishimoto tries to pass it off like, oh, he cares about the village or whatever, and it's just no, dude, fuck Danzo, God, I can't. He's, you know what? I'm right there with Swag. I can't think about this character without getting pissed.
blew up the whole village with Shinra Tensei, and when Naruto was about to come stop him, Danzo killed the messenger frog who was gonna tell Naruto what was going on. Like, no. You really killed Shisui, dude, for like no reason.
He just wanted Kodo Matsukami for himself.
I'm done, man. You guys know Danzo is the worst. You all had to see this coming. I mean, out of curiosity, really, is there anybody who likes Danzo? Let me know in the comments below. Talk to you later.
I mean, yeah, dude, look, like I said, I hate Danzo too. I can't fucking stand that character. But for me, I still wouldn't put him the worst. For me, like, I still, like, for me, it's a toss-up between, well, if we're talking specifically Naruto characters, then okay, I guess I can include Boruto, even though he does show up in like the very last chapter. But if we're including Boruto characters, for me, I would say the worst one is a toss-up between, it's a toss-up between Momoshiki and Ishiki Otsutsuki. Like, dude, I can't fucking stand those two characters. And like, I honestly never thought it was possible to make a villain that was even worse than Kaguya, but man, did they succeed. Like, seriously, those two are fucking garbage, like absolute garbage. Ishiki, the only thing that was even remotely interesting about Ishiki is that he had power. Like, he was incredibly powerful. Like, that's it. There was nothing else about the character, and not to mention he ends up getting taken out like a bitch. I mean, we're talking about a member of the Otsutsuki who was so powerful. It took Naruto having a literal ass pull of a power-up in order to even somewhat be able to put up a fight against him. And not to mention, the only reason why that power-up was even needed was because the writers realized that, oh, these two characters are so fucking powerful, I need to make them weak in order to make this other character look even as remotely threatening as possible. And like, this guy was so powerful, he got tricked by a fucking, this guy, how are you supposed to sell me on this guy as a villain when he can't even tell the difference between an original and a fucking clone? Sasuke with the fucking like base 3 Tomoe Sharingan can tell the difference between a clone and the original. Neji in part 1 of Naruto with the Byakugan could tell the difference between the original and a clone. And yet this guy, who is supposedly such a powerful Otsutsuki, that this incredibly brilliant scientist says that if he was allowed to be brought back, you know, into Kawaki, if he was allowed to be fully brought back, like, it would be the end of the shinobi world. And yet he can't even tell the difference between a clone and the original. Like, are you get the fuck out of here? Those two are fucking, like, that guy was fucking garbage. And not even him. Like, I seriously think that Momoshiki's even worse, because this guy keeps hyping himself up as being so fucking powerful, and yet he gets his ass whooped by Naruto and Sasuke, who weren't even at their full fucking power. And there are some people saying that this guy is a great fucking villain. Like, get the fuck out of here. Fuck off with that bullshit. Like, these two are trash characters. They're trash villains. They're such trash that the author had to make the other characters look weak just to make them look good. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. But if we're talking specifically Naruto characters, then yeah, I would have to say that maybe Danzo is indeed the worst, even though Boruto, for me, like, look, I won't say that he's a terribly written character. I just can't fucking stand the character. I hate every single second he's on screen. Even in the manga, I don't think he's interesting at all. And again, that's nothing against anyone who likes him. If you do, more power to you. Of course, you're allowed to like what you like, but I can't stand the guy. Seriously, like, he's so fucking annoying. Out of all the characters you could have made the main villain, Kawaki's a more interesting character But no, let's make it about Boruto because he's the former main character's son. Great, thanks for that, Kishimoto. Just brilliant. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video right here, guys. Thanks so much for watching and or listening, but please look forward to the next reaction. Bye for now.